एही कार्यक्रमर सह प्रायोजक हेले
Dear students, I am Panda. I am welcoming you to all of you to this online class in chemistry by the MBCtv. Yesterday we have discussed the matter exists in two states, that the elementary state as element and as a compound, as a combined state is a compound. In the elementary state as an element, this element can exist in a particle shape as an atom or as a molecule, and the compound always exists as a molecule in the combined state. So, now coming to the atom, I have explained you yesterday that atom is the smallest particle of an element, may or may not have free existence, but cannot be further subdivided. That is called indivisibility of atom, and taking this it was proposed by John Dalton, the Dalton's atomic theory, where he has the postulates that atom is the indivisible particle, atom can never be created or destroyed, the atom of like elements are alike, and atoms of different element are different altogether, and atom is responsible for all physical and chemical properties of an element. So, this I have combined to one sentence. I told you yesterday that all elementary properties of an element are atomic in nature, means whatever property an element exhibits, it begins from the atom, and atom is responsible for everything of the element. And this atom, as the dimension of atom later on was confirmed to be 10⁻⁸ centimeter in its atomic diameter. Now, we will come to the what is a molecule. The second particle as element exists in the combined state and the elementary state is as the molecule. So, if you come to the molecule, then how we define this molecule? So, the molecule is the smallest particle of matter. I am using the word here, there I am using the word, use the word element, I am using a matter which has free existence. Now, you see there we have told, we have defined that it may exist or may not exist freely, but a molecule exists as freely. So, when I come to the word matter, here I mean this matter can be an element, and this matter can also be a compound, means the molecule of a compound, the molecule of an element. Yesterday I gave you a table, there I have told that element has this, and the molecule, the element molecule we call the elementary molecule, and the molecule of a compound is called the molecule of a compound. Now, then what is this? The molecule is the smallest particle of matter which has free existence. Matter exists freely. Now, this molecule, if you come to the, it may be a molecule of element or it may be a molecule of compound. So, when you come to the molecule of an element, molecule of an element is called elementary molecule, is called elementary molecule. This is called as elementary molecule. What do you mean by the word elementary molecule? Means atoms of same element, they combine the molecule of the element. For example, one oxygen atom will combine with another oxygen atom to form a oxygen molecule. or one hydrogen atom will combine with one hydrogen atom to form a hydrogen molecule, or a nitrogen atom combine with a nitrogen atom form a nitrogen molecule. Generally, the gases, they exist in this molecular state. The gases exist in this. Also we say that all elementary gas molecules, all elementary gas molecules are diatomic. What I mean to say here, those elements which exist in gaseous state, those elements which exist in gaseous state, that gas always occur as a gas molecule. We say H2, N2, O2, F2. Fluorine occurs as F2, chlorine occurs as Cl2, bromine occurs as Br2, iodine occurs as I2. Like this, they occur in the gaseous state. All elementary gas molecules are the diatomic, but there is one triatomic molecule. Triatomic molecule is molecule, the oxygen can exist as a triatomic molecule. The three atoms of oxygen, they combine O3, and this O3 is called ozone. So many often do what is a triatomic molecule? The triatomic molecule is ozone, is a triatomic molecule. So these molecules, they are called as elementary molecules because they exhibit the property of element. Whatever property the element exhibits, all the properties are exhibited by this molecule. So that is the reason they are called as elementary molecule. All the elementary molecules, they exhibit the property of the molecule. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all these are exhibiting their elementary properties. These generally solids do not exist in diatomic state, they always exist in atomic state. If you come to copper is an element, gold is an element, iron is an element, or platinum is an element, all these elements, they remain in atomic state. So if you come to these this way in their atomic state, so they are again this element, the element may exist in the atomic state. It exists in three way. It may exist, there are all elements, some elements are metals and some elements are non-metals, and some elements are in between metal and non-metal. There are some elements, they exhibit the properties of a metal, dhatu boli ame kahuchu. So metal and non-metal, and that is in between that is a metalloid. Just if you think day, when you have the sun in the sky, you call it day. When the sun sets, we call it night. But the sun has set and night has, the darkness has not come. ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ତ୍ରିସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ସେଠି ନା ସେତେବେଳେ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ରାତି ହେଇଛି ନା ଦିନ ହେଇଛି, ସେଠି ଦିନର ବି ଦେଖାଯାଉଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ରାତି ଆହୁରି ଆସିନି, ଅନ୍ଧାର ହେଇ ଆସୁଛି. ସୋ ସେଇଭଳି ଦିନଟାକୁ ଆମେ ତ୍ରିସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା କହୁଛୁ, ଦ୍ୱିସନ୍ଧି ବୋଲି କହନ୍ତି. ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ହେଉଛି ମେଟାଲଏଡ୍. There are some elements, they exhibit the properties of metal and they exhibit the properties of non-metal. So they exhibit the properties of metal and they exhibit the properties of non-metal. They are called as the metalloid. Who are these metals? So we say that iron is a metal, or gold, copper, sodium, potassium, many are there, they are metals. Then who are the non-metals? That are hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, all these are iodine, all they are non-metals. Then who are the metalloids? They exhibit, for example, if you come germanium, Ge I am writing for germanium, and bismuth, arsenic, As I am writing for arsenic. They are these metalloid, they exhibit. Beryllium also sometimes exhibits the metalloid properties. So, they have the properties of metal, they exhibit the properties of non-metal. When we will come to their elements, we will discuss them. Now, we are not going into this, but the element may exist in three forms, that it is a metallic element, or it may be a non-metallic element, or it may be a metalloid. So, these non-metals, they exist in molecular state. All elementary gas, those elements which occur in gaseous state, they are diatomic, and all these metals and metalloids, mostly they remain in their atomic state. Now, my point is, now we have discussed what is a atom, and all the elementary properties of an element are atomic in nature. Whatever property an element exhibits, it is because of its atom. Now, and we have defined the molecule. Now, we will go to describe the molecule of a compound. Molecule of a compound. As I have told you meaning of the word yesterday, the compound wall. 4 walls, the east, west, north and south, 4 walls of the 4 sides, when they join, we call that as a compound wall. When many sentences are joined by a conjunctions, we call them as a compound sentence. So, exactly here the molecule of a compound means what? Atoms of 2 or more than 2 elements combine in definite proportion. So, atoms of different elements, atoms of different elements, atoms of different elements combine in definite proportion, in definite proportion, in definite proportion to form a molecule of a compound, a molecule of a compound. So, in a molecule of compound, atoms of different elements combine in definite proportion. So, they will not join indefinitely, because they have the capacity to combine. They have the capacity to combine. Their capacity to combine, I will be discussing to you in next class the valency, which is called the combining capacity. According to their combining capacity, they will combine. They will not combine indefinitely. You may take more of one, less of the other, or both are more. So, they will not combine indefinitely, they will combine indefinitely. Very disciplined way they combine, very disciplined. They know that combining capacity, that combining capacity is called as the valency. So, according to their valency, they take part in chemical combination. We have a part in our basic concept of chemistry, laws of chemical combination. So, that when we will discuss it in detail. So, now considering, I am giving an example here, what happens to an element when it forms a compound. For example, we take carbon, we take hydrogen. As I told you yesterday, I was explaining you what the chemistry is, a branch of science which explains the composition and the properties of, studies the composition and properties of matter. The composition and properties of matter are the branch of science. So, composition, I am now telling you how it composition and how the properties the chemistry can explain. Now, when you come to hydrogen, this is an element, hydrogen is an element, and when it combines with oxygen, it forms a compound. The compound we call as the water. Hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. So, what is hydrogen? As I have discussed yesterday, it is combustible. It is combustible, that is दहनीय जोटा आम कहू दहनीय, इटा जली जीव। तो आगे आम स्कूल देखई थी तुमको गोटे टेस्ट ट्यूब रे हाइड्रोजन गैस निया जीवो ता आगरे गोटे बर्निंग स्प्लिंटर रखा जीवो दियासिली काठी रखा जलंता दियासिली काठी ताले होल हाइड्रोजन गैसटा ब्लू कलर रे जले आ गोटे फप हे साउंड प्रोड्यूस करे एनु से प्रूव करा जाए हाइड्रोजन इज कंबस्टिबल दहनीय एंड व्हाट इज ऑक्सीजन is a supporter of combustion, supporter of combustion. This is a supporter of combustion. So now you think one combustible दहनीय और दहनीर सहायक दिहे मिसुचंती ताहले बहुत जोर जोलिया कथा एटा. But what happens, the water is neither combustible nor supporter of combustion. You see, this is called the mysterious behavior of water. The hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water. Hydrogen is combustible and oxygen is supporter of combustion, but when they combine they form water. We use the water to extinguish the fire. So that means what we will say here, when the elements combine they form the molecule of a compound. In the molecule of a compound, the atoms of the elements lose their elementary properties. They lose their elementary properties. One physical property you see, what is this? This is hydrogen is a gas and this oxygen is a gas. Now when the water is formed, it is a liquid. Is a liquid. So this is called, why it is a liquid? That can be explained by the chemistry. When we will read a topic called chemical bond, we will be discussing the hydrogen bond. Because of the hydrogen bonding present among the molecules of water, the water becomes a liquid when, but two gases are there combined. We will discuss when chemical bond, there we will discuss this. Now this is the mysterious behavior of water can be explained by this. So if we put in a chemical language, this is I wrote like a literature. Now if I write a chemical language, if I take hydrogen, symbol for hydrogen is H and symbol for oxygen is O and the symbol for water is H2O. That means two volumes of hydrogen combine with one volume of water, oxygen, to form a volume of water, or two atoms of, when you what I have told you yesterday, that all physical and chemical properties of an element are atomic in nature. The element is reacting, means who is reacting? The atom is reacting. Element is reacting, means who is reacting? It is the atom is reacting. So I am writing two volumes, I am writing two atoms and one atom of oxygen, they form the water. We say this is a compound, we call that water, 2H plus O, and these form the water. And here you found the water is a liquid and it is an uncombustible. So what I say here, the atoms of elements, any doubt? And a student, what is your doubt? Please, you are in online, what is your doubt? Hello? Hello? Atoms of elements when combined form molecule of a compound. Now what conformation this tells us? The compound does not exhibit the elementary properties. Like, any doubt you have? Hello? Please ask your question. Now come to this, the elementary properties. Now you see what I am to telling you here, that very interesting question. hydrogen, water contains hydrogen and oxygen, but it is neither combustible nor supporter of combustion. It is not a gas, it is a liquid, because why? It does not exhibit elementary properties. Why? Because elementary property who exhibits? The atom. Just when a daughter gets married, goes to his in-laws, her in-laws place, she becomes daughter-in-law. The same daughter who was behaving, her behavior in her house, and if you compare the behavior of the same girl as a daughter-in-law in his in-laws house, to totally different. Exactly, transformation takes place from a daughter to a daughter-in-law in the marriage, after the marriage. Exactly when the chemical combination take place, the atoms of the element, they lose their atomic property. They do not remain as atom, they do not remain as atom, they become a molecule of a compound, and the compound exhibits. Hello? 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 What's your doubt?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is from Jaspur town.
Please ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Tell me the question.
Sir, I have a doubt on the electrolysis process.
Hello?
Sir, why the glass collected in the test tube in the...
It's not audible. I am not able to listen you. Atoms of elements, when combined, form a molecule of a compound. The compound does not exhibit elementary properties because it is a molecule now. It is a molecule of a compound and they are the atoms. So, the atomic properties are not there. Now, another example I can give you to explain this phenomenon, how an element loses its properties when it forms the molecule of a compound. If you take carbon, it is a solid and black in color, and when you take the oxygen, we take, and it is a gas, and colorless. When they combine and they form carbon dioxide. When they combine, they form carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is colorless. The carbon dioxide is colorless and is a gas. You see, it for a normal person who does not know chemistry will be astonished, because he is taking a black, adding colorless, it ought to be black. It is a solid and gas, so its solid should exist, but it is not solid. Why? The carbon, when combines with oxygen, it loses its carbon character. The oxygen, when combines with carbon, it loses its oxygen character. They take the character of carbon dioxide. गोटे नूतन चरित्र सृष्टि हुए से भितर नूतन बॉन्डिंग गोटे सृष्टि हुए जो कार्बन निजक हराई दिए, ऑक्सीजन निजक हराई दिए, से माने नुआ गोटे सृष्टि करती जाको आमे कंपाउंड यौगिक वस्तु बोली कहूँ कंपाउंड, and that becomes a colorless carbon dioxide. So, if you write this in a chemical language, the symbol for carbon is C and it combines with two atoms of oxygen. These atoms I am writing. I am not writing O2, I am writing atoms of oxygen. It forms a molecule of carbon dioxide. Many often this question is asked to the students or to the people, and many people they are not able to answer this question, why this happens. Now, reason being very simple way we can say they lose during the chemical combination, the atoms of combining elements lose their atomic properties. They are not in their atomic state, they are in their molecular state. In the molecular state, they lose their atomic properties, because all elementary properties of element are atomic in nature. Since they are not in atomic state, they cannot exhibit their elementary behavior. Now, when you come to this molecule, now I told you the matter exists in solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. in solid state, liquid state and gaseous state, and in solid state, liquid state, gaseous state. In solid state, all these particles, atom or whatever they are very compactly, closely packed. As we say, we heat, they get separated, they have mobility and they become liquid. And now when we heat, they got total separated, these particles, they become gas. So the best way, if we want to study the behavior of the element, if we want to study the properties of a matter or properties of a compound or properties of an element, it is best to study the in its gaseous state, because each molecule is free. So I will explain you what are the properties of a gas molecule. We will go for a break, and after the break, when I will come, we will discuss what are the properties of a gas molecule, an ideal gas molecule. Just like an ideal student, the behavior of an ideal student, exactly the behavior of an ideal gas molecule we will discuss after this break.